What's up everyone, Sean here, and welcome to this channel update for February and a look back on January. I apologize for the late nature of things. I've been busy for a couple of weeks. Didn't really get a good chance to record one until now. Been distracted with a number of things. I've been watching some stuff and just doing things that I like doing, and and sometimes they distract you pretty good. So, been busy, but we'll get to more of that later on as to what was I working on and stuff. And so, of course, I will be talking about January 1st, and then what we're going to be doing in February, as similar with the previous channel updates. So, sit back and thank you very much for tuning in, and let's open that can. So, January has been mixed for everyone else in the world. Seems like there have been some shocking things that have been happening throughout the world, including what preceded or appeared to be preceding World War III. With the whole incident over there with Ukraine and I believe it was Iran. Very, very scary things happening over there. Missiles shooting down on the American base, and an airplane crashed and seemed very suspicious and stuff like that. And all that between. I don't want to go into it too much. And there's also the fire in Australia, which has been devastating for the wildlife and of course the people who live there. Very unfortunate, and I hope for the best. They've been getting a lot of donations, so that's really good. Things have been shaping up in that area, but hopefully they can come back and recover as smooth as possible. And also there's all that stuff about the coronavirus. It's kind of scary for like the people in Japan because obviously I have family there, and we've always gone there for every year, but not as of late because we have a puppy right now, so it's a little hard to kind of plan things and head over there and all that. But anyway, so yeah, the virus is also another scary thing. Also been affecting gaming related things actually. A lot of you don't people don't really think about these things, but a lot of stuff comes from China, including the presentations. A lot of people like to go over there to present their products in China because they're huge investors. So naturally, a lot of companies go over there to show their stuff to please the investors and try to get money into their products, so they can produce it, get it out there, and people buy them, stuff like that, and they can pay them back. It's without much incident, but unfortunately this virus has been really affecting not only of course the people there, but the businesses around them and involving with them too. There have been some presentation delays involving with like Cyberpunk and stuff. A lot of products that are made in China. People will take these things for granted until something happens, and it can present some potential danger if not taken cautiously. Even there were reports of like the Switch being part of the infection and stuff like that. This outbreak, right? Because the workers might be possibly infected, with the virus, and so it's been kind of hindering some things for gaming related stuff, to say the least. And then there's some unfortunate deaths, one including Kobe Bryant, the legendary basketball player from the Lakers, who had just recently retired and wanted to spend some time with his family. Not only he had passed away or had perished too soon in that accident, but his daughter as well, who dreamt of becoming a legendary basketball player herself, like her father, and make a name for herself in a professional setting. And it's really sad to just think about that it won't happen for reasons like this. It's such a sad tale. They were definitely taken way too soon. Death is a very unforgivable thing, unseeable and unpredictable. And you know, we've always have to think about these things, but we kind of get lost in our own little pursuit for happiness, and of course, the happiness that we can have currently, and we just try to distract ourselves from that. But reality comes hitting us hard, taking away anyone, and that anyone can include someone from your family or your friends, and or just people around you in general. So always remind yourself to spend the time with your friends and your family as much as you can, whenever chance you have, because these things can and will happen randomly. And so we have to do our best to kind of just prepare ourselves, and just do our best to make the best of what we have, including time. You know, something that we've always, are ever so losing. And so time is short. And so, again, just do what you can to make your friends and family happy. And of course, including yourself. So that's very important as well. So, we gotta just do our best to prepare for these situations, and face reality and stuff like that. So anyway, very mixed January, let's just say, for the world, right? As for myself, I've been, I can't complain. I am very fortunate that I still have the things that I have, and I'm very grateful for that. My birthday had passed, and now I have reached to the big 3-0, so to say, and it is interesting to think about. I've made it this far, and there are still things for me to come, and I just can't believe I made it through a third of the average lifetime. Like, assuming that, let's just say 90 is a pretty good age to live around for. It's absolutely mind blowing, and you think that 30 years is a pretty big number for an age, but time goes by fast. And like I said, time is short, so got to make the best of things. And there definitely are still things for me to come. I still have things to think about and pursue and all that stuff, but it'll all come to kind of play, and eventually things will start turning, like the gears and stuff, all the cogs and all that stuff, all those parts will start turning eventually for me, and hopefully by then things will stabilize and I can live a pretty decent life. But there is still time for me, so I will do my best to make it happen as smooth as possible. But at the same time, like I said, I'll just spend time for myself and the friends around me, and of course, my family. So it's definitely, these things do hit you once you get older, especially when you hit 30. Like, you just start thinking about these things. It is something, to say the least, and it's all just part of life. Just make the best that you have, and to make the best of what you try to pursue and stuff like that. So I'm as much as I want to be philosophical about this, we gotta move on. So of course, for my birthday, we had Korean barbecue, and then we went bowling, which was good old fashioned fun. And definitely had a lot of meat. Ooh. Definitely had enough for that week. And by the way, it's like right at the beginning of January, for those who are curious. And people can figure out when my birthday is. So I was born in 1990, so definitely a '90s baby. You know what I mean? Like, or '90s kid, I should say. And those were some interesting times. And once again, having to hit 30, like I am definitely, you know, thinking about it. And it's just so funny that I'm the oldest one of the group, and so people will tend to call me the old man of things. So, but I'm okay with that. It's I think it's funny, and it's definitely a little fun little title, I guess you can say, to have under a belt. But not when it comes to like movies, they don't do a whole lot. The year just started, so there is definitely more stuff to come. But I guess 1917 well, officially released, and so we caught that in the City Walk theater for AMC, which is has the biggest IMAX screen in the at least to say the LA County or SoCal. And so we were able to catch that in the big IMAX screen, and it was a good experience. Definitely is noticeably different. Not my first time; it's my second time seeing it in City Walk. I watched Age of Ultron of the Avengers series. Had a fun time with that one too, and it's kind of nice to be reminded of how big and detailed things can be when you're watching that theater. So. I would love to watch something like Tenet that's coming in July. So it's definitely a long wait, but we'll get there. We'll definitely get there eventually, and I would definitely look forward to that movie. Funny enough, I did watch a number of movies along the way that are on like Netflix and stuff like that, including Weathering with You, which is which officially released sometime in, let's say, July of 2019 in Japan. Did well there, of course. There was another film that followed the footsteps of Your Name, or Kimi no Nawa, which I did review. I didn't have time to review for this one, unfortunately. It's just, I don't know. I couldn't just make time for it. Distractions and stuff like that were had. And so, Weathering with You, definitely, I guess just I can say it here, was a great film. It was a good one. I don't know if it was better than Your Name, but to say the least, I think it definitely is on par with it. It definitely does leave a more ambiguous note when it ends, and so it is interesting in that sense as to where the story could go. But I have a feeling there is not going to be a sequel for it. Usually these movies don't have sequels. They're like very one-off sort of situations. And so I'm okay with that. It does add a little more mystery to it, so it's a little more fun in that sense. But despite that, or with that said, it was still a good film. I really liked it, and so if I had to give it a rating, it was beautiful. It was a absolutely beautifully animated film. So I watched it in Japanese, and it was definitely the utmost experience I can get for a movie. And so I definitely would give this the biggest 9 out of 10 I can give. A couple of picky things I have, nitpicks, I guess. And so that's the score I would give if I had to review it. So it is a 2019 film, so I am considering putting this one in my top 10 2019 films or movies. So we'll have to see. Hopefully I can get that going with my friend Danny, but we'll see about that. But more in July, I watched The Irishman finally. Another good film with Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci and Al Pacino. If you love those Martin Scorsese films, or just like Italian mafia sort of vibes, with that Martin Scorsese's touch to it, definitely check this one out. It's kind of bundled into this one film, really, and it's another good one. A lot of like visual effects because of the de-aging and stuff like that, which is kind of neat. It was pulled off well, but you can tell that they were digitally de-aged, and it's becoming a little more obvious, which kind of maybe unfortunate if you, however you look at it. But despite that, I think this one's another like solid like an 8 out of 10. It didn't maybe go on a little too long, but for what it had, it was certainly entertaining, to say the least. And I just love Joe Pesci. I love Robert De Niro. Their performances were fantastic, and of course Al Pacino. He definitely was a good Jimmy Hoffa sort of thing. And it's pretty much almost like a half like a documentary slash movie. It felt like more of a movie than a documentary, but apparently this was all based off of a true story, and this was pretty accurate according to some people. So, including the confession of what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. And I won't give it away for the sake of things, but you can just read up on Jimmy Hoffa and what happened to him, because supposedly it was like the biggest mystery for a very long time, until his confidant sort of revealed it. And it's been pretty interesting to say the least. Love the film, and another good one to see on Netflix. So yeah, go catch it if you love those Italian mafia films. The next one I do want to mention is I finally watched Inception as well. Inception was definitely something I had to go watch on, and it was on Netflix, luckily, so I definitely took the time to watch that one. And I was very pleased with it, with the time that I put into it. Pretty solid, like 2.5 hours, I believe. And for the for what it was definitely a masterpiece, a technical masterpiece. And I would say the same. Sorry to kind of step over 1917, but that one is also a technical masterpiece as well, with the whole one take sort of simulation feel. That was a pretty good one as well. That one would be like an 8 out of 10 for that one. But I'm back onto Inception. Definitely a solid 9 out of 10. It was beautifully shot. Some of the CGI effects did age, like the particle explosions when the main character was explaining things to another person, and you can kind of tell, especially on the new TV that I bought. I was able to catch that, and it kind of took me away from it a little bit, but everything else, like, it was fantastic. The actors were great, including DiCaprio and Gordon-Levitt, Ellen Page, of course. There was Ken Watanabe, which I totally forgot that he was in this film, and Michael Caine and all that, and all that in between. Tom Hardy, of course, was great. Everyone did a fantastic job. Loved it, and definitely was glad to catch this one. And now I'm more than ever excited for Tenet, which is the next Christopher Nolan film that's coming up in July. And so I look forward to watching that whenever that comes up. Next one I would come to mind. Let's see. No, I guess that's it. I guess that's it for the movies I watched. It was a pretty good month for movies that I watched, at least. But of course, it's the slowest time. But luckily, I was able to catch Weathering with You and all those other movies I mentioned. So, yeah. Next one is video games, but there wasn't much going on with video games, so I kind of just diverted my focus onto the movies, which is why that happened. I've been playing, of course, Monster Hunter, as always, with the whole anniversary event in Safi Jiva that came by. And it was a good time. I was playing with Energamma, and we were just tearing. We got our ass beat first, and then we kind of got the pattern down. So we started to just mauling Safi Jiva, and so got the stuff that I wanted. I got the armor for it, and so pretty much got what I need from Safi Jiva. So that's that. So hopefully more is to come. There is the variant monsters that are coming up. But anyway. Something else in January. Oh yeah, I've been playing Smash with the guys. That's been a hell of a good time, especially with Byleth out. That's boy, that whole reveal was a nice little surprise, right? Because who would have thought that it would have been a Fire Emblem character for the last one? Because all the other ones were guest characters, and yeah, this one was a Nintendo character. And not only that, it was a Fire Emblem character. At least it was this time around. It is Byleth, which is from Three Houses, and I love Three Houses. That was my game of the year, pretty much, for the top 12 games that that I rated, I guess, for a video, and which I did upload here, and so I was pretty happy with it for the most part, but a lot of people were so mad, and it was quite the show, I should say. A lot of people were angry, were very vocal about it, but that time has passed. The character's out, and she's fun. She's definitely a good party character, like a 4-player Smash sort of character. But beyond that, when it comes to like the competitive viability, I don't know. It's hard to say, but she is slow, but she has reach. But I don't know if that's enough for her to be viable, even be relevant for competitive, for the competitive scene or competitive standards. And so we'll have to see. There are probably some unexplored things, and people will find them eventually, and maybe Byleth will be high tier. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see about that. But, not that I'm a competitor myself or anything like that, but, that's something I do follow to some extent, and it would be interesting to find out if Byleth is, viable at all. But probably not a solo character. Probably like a counter pick sort of thing. But who knows? But other than that, can't really think of anything else that comes to mind. So when it comes to real life stuff, I've already kind of covered my birthday, the most important stuff. I'm still working out, of course. Not a whole lot. It's the start of the year, and it was definitely at least, to say at least, a decent start. And so I can't really complain too much about that. So another fine little birthday, and then a fine little January, I guess, to say the least, for myself, that is. But anyway, I guess we can move on to February, and so what we have in store. Right, of course. So before I go into what we're going to do for February, let's just review what we did for the channel on or during January. So there was definitely that Pokemon Direct. I did my reaction to that. I believe that was when they revealed the whole expansion pass for it, which I'm okay with. However, the whole Pokemon Home thing, that's whole nother story. But yeah, and like I mentioned, we did the top 12 games of 2019. Had a lot of fun with that one. And then I reacted to the whole Byleth reveal. And then, this one, kind of a big one. We finally were able to get together and review Rise of Skywalker for Star Wars. Another fun one. And then I was able to open my old amiibos that came out previously, but also the new ones that came out most recently, which was Richter and Dark Samus. And then previously there was Simon Belmont and Incineroar and Chrom. So I opened all those up at once, made a video out of it, and had a lot of fun with it. Just checking out the amiibos up close and taking all those shots and stuff like that. With the camera. Next one up, we did. I made a video out of Hokusai banner for Fate Grand Order. Put some money down, and it was looking a little rough at first, but then I got her twice, in fact, which was pretty good. So MP2 Hokusai, not bad, right? Can't complain too much about that. And not only that, I got Jean d'Arc out of that too. So a pretty good spook, pretty good pull overall at the end of things. And so I'm pretty happy with that overall. Can't complain about that. In regards of Fate Grand Order, I'm definitely not gonna do much with it for a while. There's really nothing for me to pull until the guaranteed gacha, which is in July usually. Every July for every year. And then there's summer, of course, but the stuff that I want is way later in the late part of August. So, that's even later, you know what I mean? So I have nothing to do with Fate Grand Order for a while, so maybe I'll slowly work on the singularities and stuff like that I still have to do. But it'll eventually be done. So yeah. Next one we did, more podcasts, of course. Talking about delayed games and stuff like that. And then I did come out with a compilation of my own with Biolith. Just a quick little compilation, nothing much from it. There were some good moments, so I did want to show that off somehow. Next one, I did discuss the whole Evo but I just realized we were going beyond January, so I apologize for that after the podcast. So we did have our two podcasts and stuff like that. So yeah, do apologize for that. So we already did some things for February because since this video is late. So I did mention the Biolith video, which is the day one compilation, and I had some fun with it. Like I said, Biolith is a fun character to play during 4-player. I did try her online with a number of 1v1 matches, and pretty decent in some situations. But just, I don't know, it was hard for me to kind of make it consistent. I was losing at first because I just had to get used to Smash altogether again, shake off the rust, and then I started to get some more W's and stuff like that later on. Started to get a little more consistent with my ranking, that is. And so I was pretty happy at the end of things with Biolith. Had fun with her, or him, depending on who you pick. Next one, I did talk about the Evo lineup discussion, my thoughts about it. Sad to see Mortal Kombat not making it in there. Sad to see that BB Tag couldn't make it in there either. But it is what it is. It's hard to, keep up with a bunch of games. There's a lot of fighting games nowadays, man. And so you can only pick so much, and some have to get sacrificed and to make room for the ones that do deserve some spotlight as well. We already got a podcast out there, and it's discussed about the scattered release dates for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. I was really looking forward to that game, and unfortunately it's not coming out until a month after the Asian release, so it is upsetting. It was infuriating at first, but I will wait for the month, and I will wait till March, and that's when it comes out. And so definitely am looking forward to getting that in my hands. So Now we do have some stuff to look forward to for February. I did have a compilation of just like general, Smash with like a 4-player compilation sort of thing going on. I had a lot of fun in anything. This one, I kept like trying to like make some changes every time I exported it and wanted to add some more stuff or take out some stuff, make some changes and all that. And so I just had a lot of fun with it, to the point where I stayed up till like as far as like 10 in the morning, man. And the sun was well up, but I was well in my bed by then, and I just woke up around like 3 or 4ish. So it was definitely something. I hadn't done that in a long time, but I kind of miss it. But yeah, it's definitely not viable, and so it's definitely definitely something I'll try to keep in control. But yeah, I think it was worth it for myself. So you guys will see it by the time this video comes out, and hopefully you guys have fun with it. So because I had fun with it while I was editing it. So yeah. But I'm hoping to film the top 10 films with my friend Danny. He's been pretty busy with his own thing, so trying to see if I can get that going as soon as I can. But yeah, hopefully we can get that going, and we'll see about that. But that's all I can think about, or think of. In terms of what I'm gonna do for the rest of February, and so the rest of it will be spontaneous. And I forgot one thing, I guess. There may be some Final Fantasy content because I started playing that game, the old one, of course, the old classic Final Fantasy 7, because I wanted to sort of prepare myself for Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I think that's pretty much going to be my first game that I'll do like a big review on. Probably Granblue Fantasy Versus. But no, what I'm thinking, Animal Crossing, man. Animal Crossing is the game that I'm anticipating for. Not much going on in February when it comes to games, other than the Yakuza Remaster Collection, and also Azure Lane has their own video game coming out soonish. In fact, I think it's coming out now. I gotta check out my Steam, so we'll see about that. Well, maybe we'll see some content on this channel. We'll see. I'll do like a quick review on it, unless I have time for it somehow. But I'll definitely, say something for Azure Lane, because I do like it to some extent when it comes to the mobile game. So I'll definitely give this one a try. I'm not gonna expect much for it, but we'll see for Azure Lane. So, anyways, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to from here on out, because March is going to be pretty busy. The rest of February, things have already come out for me anyway. But there is that Sonic movie, so I do want to do a review on that. It'll be a solo for the most part, I believe, unless I got a friend who loves Sonic who can make it for the review, but we'll see about that. Not gonna expect too much, because he's also busy as well, because we're all busy people nowadays. It's unfortunate, but that is life. And like I said, make the best of what you have, including your family and friends and all that stuff. So with that, that's all I got for this update, this vlog. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you have any comments, of course, subscribe. Really helps out. Really appreciate you guys. And don't forget to hit the bell notification to all. That will be the best way to know when I upload stuff. I'm always uploading stuff as the best that I can for this channel. And so try to keep up with it. Really appreciate it, guys, if you check them out. And I know there are people out there who are still aching for some We Have Fun stuff. I'll do my best to get the guys together, but like I said, we're all busy, and It's just, that's just that's just life as we get older. So anyway, again, thank you guys so much for the February channel update and the look back on January. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Sean out.